3, Buck County Board of Education. This time I'll ask Mr. Marvin to give us an invocation.
Thank you, Mr. Jowers. Let's pray. Lord, thank you for loving us and blessing us, Lord. Thank you for being in our presence tonight as we meet to learn how to serve the students and the families of our community better. Lord, I thank you for these board members and their investment of time and energy into guiding us through the efforts of leading a district and leading our schools, Lord. I pray that the things that we do and say are pleasing in your sight tonight, and I pray for wisdom over all those. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Each one of you got a copy of the agenda. Changes or questions? Need a motion to adopt the agenda as is.
Move we adopt the agenda as presented.
Mr. Preston, Mr. Wade, in favor?
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, we have a school update, and we have the principal from Eastside Elementary School, and some of her staff are here with her tonight. And Dr. Tanya LaShore will give us an update from Eastside, and it looks like she has Ms. Woodard with her, and
Yes.
So welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good to see you all. And I thank Catherine for coming this afternoon to be here for her support, to show a lot of the great things we're doing at Eastside this year. This year, we're implementing Capturing Kids' Hearts. Our word of the month is empathy. Each morning, we'll be on the intercom and we share and we talk about empathy, understanding what others are actually going through. And we also are utilizing core essentials, and our word of the month is friendship. So we take that and tie that in to, being friends with others and sometimes understanding what they're going through instead of judging them or picking at them. And we stress that throughout the building with our students. Some of the celebrations that we are proud of for the month of August, we had 426 students that received perfect attendance for the month of August. And we currently now have 596 students currently enrolled. And another thing I would like to add, we also are making our students more patriotic by having them come up and do the pledge each and every morning. And that gets them out of their shell. And we're trying to develop our students as well as being leaders and being patriotic for their country as well. And then our academic data, we're moving towards digging into our student data to apply our best practices strategies to help our students show academic growth. We just got finished doing our CBMs and DIBELs and different type things to see where our students are and working with our teachers on meeting the academic needs of our students through their instructional planning strategies. One of the professional developments that we just recently did for a couple of our teachers was adding to your toolbox strategies to utilize when teaching students with ASD, that's on the autism spectrum disorder. This was provided through Okefenokee-Risa. Teachers were able to get some of the strategies and techniques that they needed for their students who they have. We're seeing more students with on the autism spectrum. And so teachers needed ways to be able to plan effectively to address any behavioral issues, our social issues, and I'm happy to say even our cafeteria manager, Misty Blair, we had one kid, he would have issues or shut down or have a meltdown just from the food on his plate. So Misty was able to figure out on her own to put the food in cups so that, if he is having a meltdown, hey, I can just take that off. So we're all working as a community for our students and focusing on our students with on the autism spectrum disorder. And I just want to say thank you for this opportunity to serve at Eastside Elementary. It is a great opportunity. I always say if you haven't served at elementary, you just don't have a clue. They're my real superheroes. I've done every grade level now, but we are some go-getters on the elementary level. And I have an awesome, awesome team. We work together to support each other. So thank you all for the opportunity and thank you for your continued support.
Thank you, Dr. LaShore. Thank you, Ms. Woodard. Appreciate y'all being here and all the work you're doing at Eastside. Thank you. We have our minutes from our last monthly meeting and also our call meeting for the board to review. If it pleases the board, we'll place these on the consent agenda for a vote at our regular meeting. Next on the work session, we have the financial report. We have the FY23 year-end financials. And so we are finally closing out the books on last year, and we have the year-end financials. Ms. Yawn, is there any commentary on those documents? If you want to click on the first one there, Chan.
Yes, sir, we were able to close this week. We've signed off on all our reports, to the Department of Education, and also we finalized with the Department of Audits, sent our reports to them. So you can see that we have ended the fiscal year, June 30, 2023, at $28,854,285.32 for the fiscal year. And we began the school year, July 1 at $25,704,651.01. Go to the comparison report there. This is our comparison over the past, it's got the past 3 years there with the current year. So we were able to add some funds to our fund equity moving forward there. And then the last report shows our revenues and our expenditures broken down. So you can see on the second page there, our total revenues that were received throughout the fiscal year was $79,534,781.14. And then the on down is our expenditures. The total is right here at $76,385,146.83. Those were the June financials. Any questions on those?
I'd just like to thank our finance department and our principals and all of our staff for assuring that the system has had a good financial year, and we finished in a positive way this past school year as far as budgeting is concerned and our revenues and expenditures. So thank you to all of the staff to ensure that the system is financially healthy. The next report is the fiscal year financials.
These are our July financials. We're also able to close the month of July for the fiscal year 24. So it shows our beginning fund equity there that we just ended, June with. And then our end of the month fund equity for the month of July is at $28,919,236.19. And you can notice some of the revenues and the expenditures, most of our revenues and expenditures were accrued because of our teachers. So those were reflected in our June financials. And this is our report again of our comparison from the past 3 years. It shows where we are in July here. And then the last report is our detail again. And the second page there has our total revenues for the month of July at $1,756,030.02. Again, because those revenues were accrued for the salaries. And then the second portion is our expenditures as of the month of July at $1,691,079.15. There. Okay. That's the month of July. And then we also have August here. So through August, we have ended the month of August at $27,255,460.29. Comparison report here, the past 3 years. So you can see we're up from past year to there. And then the final financial is our revenue here on the second page. Through August, our revenues were $3,689,976.29. And then the expenditures through the month of August were $5,288,801.32. Okay. East Loss. For the month of August, the revenue was $831,462.66. We did receive a letter from the Department of Revenue stating that 118,000 of those funds was, they had upgraded to a new financial system at the Department of Revenue. So there was a coding issue and they found that error for last year. So they funded us the $118,606. So that is in that figure there, a correction from the last fiscal year.
I got excited thinking that was Jack's Restaurant over there, as busy as it's been. Bunch of food between them and PetSmart. I thought they really raised the local revenue, but it was from the Department of Revenue.
Any questions on any of those financials?
And I've got that letter, board members, if y'all want to see it, I shared it with Mr. Jowers. All right. Moving on, we have the tax digest. We discussed this a couple of weeks ago at our call meeting, and we're presenting it to the board to ask the board to approve the tax digest and the millage rate with the rollback of the millage. So we'll be reducing the millage rate. The board approves this tonight, and we'll go from 16.019 mils to 14.622 mils. So that's good news. Any questions about it? All right, yes, sir. Lowering taxes, that's a good thing. So, all right. But please, the board will place that on the consent agenda for the regular meeting. The next item on the agenda is the Nita M. Lowry 21st Century Summative Evaluation, and we have the director from the Boys and Girls Club here to discuss the evaluation of the 21st Century Grant. Welcome.
Thanks, Dr. Lee's board. This afternoon, I would like to just briefly hit on the evaluation that our external evaluator has completed for us for last year. It's included with the packet. Student engagement, of course, is strong. We have a waiting list. Cutting down on that on a daily basis. The students that attend the Boys and Girls Club in the afternoon are attending school more frequently, and that's the bottom box. The 4-year overall objectives are there, and we've met most all of them. This past year, the only one we did not meet, and it's on the next, Shannon, is there one that looks, it's got a, oh, the next page, keep scrolling, one more, I do believe, right there, yes. The only thing we did not meet this past year was our science, which says the percentage of regularly participating students scoring developing learner achievement or above on the science section of the state assessment will be at a minimum of 60%. We were at 57, one student, more than likely, one student. We are working on that. We're ramping up our science. We have some outdoor planners, some different things going on, some science projects in the classrooms. So that's where we're at right now. Lots of students, lots of activity. If any of you would like to visit in the afternoons at 2:15, you meet me at the door to the Boys and Girls Club at 210 West Jackson, and you will be blessed, I promise. The next item on here is the grant award for this year, and we have $379,585 And then I would like to ask the board for acceptance of the fiscal year 24 21st Century Community Learning Center grant on the amount of $379,585. And that's us. Any questions?
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And I think back to when we established the Boys and Girls Club about 10 years ago and applied for that 21st Century grant. And part of the rationale for starting a Boys and Girls Club was the communities that had Boys and Girls Clubs had higher graduation rates than communities that don't have Boys and Girls Clubs. And then we pursued the grant to support it with the 21st Century. And so just great job from everybody who's been involved with that. That's been a huge success. Thank you. All right, surplus property. We have several items from nutrition here. Ms. Lewis, do you want to describe these items for us?
These are items that we have taken out of service. The ovens no longer work, and some of the other equipment we don't use anymore. So I'm trying to replace equipment now, and the easiest way to replace equipment is to get rid of what's not working. And so it's just, like I said, it'll be put on Gov Deals. The milk boxes aren't in service anymore. The ovens aren't in service. None of this is actually in service anymore. And we've replaced it with new equipment, and I just want to put it on Gov Deals to get rid of it so that it's not sitting in our storage, wasting space.
Any questions?
Are you saying none of this stuff works?
The only things that do work are the slicers and choppers, but we don't use those for safety reasons anymore. So everything else is not working. Yes, ma'am.
Have we placed it on the website for government?
We haven't, not until you approve it. Once you approve it, we'll place it on the website on Gov Deals, but we can't put it on there until the board approves it to be surplus. But like the ovens and milk boxes, none of that's working.
Nothing on the list is working?
Just the slicers and choppers,
But why we place this other stuff on the list?
because we don't use them, because they're not safe for my employees.
And there's people that'll buy it.
Yeah,
and
repair it
Get
and
something
repair
out of
it.
it. There are people that will buy it.
Even the ovens that aren't working, we'll get top dollar for those ovens because these surplus companies buy them and tear them apart and sell the parts, which is something we couldn't do.
Okay.
As a department. I mean, I obviously can't take an oven apart. But these companies will buy these, and like restaurants will buy those choppers and slicers because they do use them, and they'll pay top dollar for them. So it's just an easy way to get rid of equipment.
And I would love to buy one of those choppers or slicers, you know, but I will point out, we do have a policy that prohibits board members and administrators from purchasing any of the surplus items, in case anybody was.
I don't think you want one. They weigh about 75 pounds a piece.
All right,
They're pretty big,
yes, ma'am.
not household.
All right. Are there any more questions? All right, if there's no questions, we'll place that on the consent agenda. Out-of-state travel, we have a group from Coffee High School, the Art Club, that is requesting approval to go to New York City in March of 2024. We have Mr. Allen here in case there's any questions. Y'all want to come forward and tell us about the trip? See that you brought your instructor with you, your teacher. That y'all are here, you might as well get up and
Yeah,
perform.
thank you, Dr. Leaks. Miss Shana Harper is with us. She's one half of the two best art teachers in the whole world. She does a fantastic job, her and Miss Amanda Youngblood, but they are planning a trip to go to New York City with the art club. And I remember in 1987, Miss Betty Royal and Miss Jane Wade took a bunch of bright-eyed and bushy-tailed students from Coffee Junior High School to Washington, D.C., and I was one of them. And that's the only time I've ever been to Washington, D.C., was a trip with the school. And for a poor boy from Satilla it was quite a trip for me. So, these folks have decided that they want to pour their time and effort into raising money for our students to be able to have that same opportunity to go to New York City. It plays into our academy model with Ms. Harper as part of the Fine Arts Business and Information Technology Academy, just to show our students in Coffee County that they also have an opportunity to be a fashion designer, an artist, a sculptor, and to see, the best in the world on display in New York City. So that's what we're asking for. The trip is with Explorica. They have taken 400,000 students on educational tours. They provide security while you're there, and it's a great trip with a great company. And so, Ms. Harper, you got anything to add?
I just wanted to add that our students have been really excited. We earned a lot of money with our Trash and Fashion show in the springtime. And when I talked to the art club about what would we want to do with the money, they wanted an experience. They wanted to go see Parsons School of Design and tour the campus and go to the Met and go to the Museum of Modern Art. And those are things that, as wonderful as Coffee County is, we can't provide that experience here. So we would love the opportunity to go if you'll allow us.
How many kids?
We have 47 kids in our art club, but of course we're not taking them all. Right now we have a list of 30 students who are interested in going. And so we have 3 certified faculty members who are going to be chaperones. Thank you for that word,
Yes.
Mr. Allen. And then that will all depend on board approval, of course.
Don't care, Mr. Allen. Can you go?
I'll be glad to go. I fit right into New York City. Any more questions?
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There's no further questions. If it pleases the board, we'll place that on the consent agenda. We have also on the agenda next, we have Ambrose Playground Equipment. And we have our principal here from Ambrose who's going to tell us about this item.
Good afternoon, Dr. Lisa Board. Dr. Mary Vickers started this process with this grant last year. One of the things about the grant is it's a competitive opportunity grant that the state put out. And when you think about all the schools in the state of Georgia, we were one of 16 that got this grant. So it was written up in a great way. Dr. Vickers did a great job. We got 3 quotes on it. It's very difficult to get the same type of equipment and get a quote on it, but Game Time came in at the lowest, and they actually did better. It came a little higher than that, and I told them, I said, well, right now we only got $50,000. We'd have to pay out of pocket through the school, which we would have done, but they even reduced it a little more to meet us where the grant was. So the grant's for health and PE equipment, which kind of falls under that grant, but it's with playground equipment. Our PE department, Coach Cole Perkins, is going to use that with her standards, and also as well as PE. So we're blessed to get that opportunity and be able to receive that grant from the state.
Well, thank you, Mr. Drew.
Anybody have any questions?
We like for money.
3 months, we'll take it.
So appreciate what you're doing at Ambrose. Thank you. Next is a Chromebook purchase for pre-K. This is for $31,000, $31,326. And this will be purchased using what funds?
L4GA.
L4GA
Yes, sir.
funds. So, literacy funds.
That's right.
Are there any questions about the Chromebooks for pre-K?
Is that for all pre-Ks in the county?
Yes, ma'am.
And that will supply every pre-K student with Chrome?
No, sir.
It'll be the classroom. It'll be
Six.
So I'll put one in every class, not every?
six 6 per classroom.
6. How many classrooms do we have?
Twenty.
20.
Yes, ma'am.
Crazy thing, pre-K, Chromebook, they all work better than I can.
All right. Pleased as the board will place this on the consent agenda, regular meeting. The next item on the agenda is the annual training plan for the board members. On the training plan, we have the Charter System School Governance Training, which would be 2 hours. We have the Georgia School Board Association Annual Conference in Atlanta, that would be 6 hours. We have whole board governance training, where we'll have our local training here with a consultant from Georgia School Board, which would be 6 hours. And then we have the GSBA Summer Conference in June, which would be 6 hours. And if you complete all this training, you would have 20 hours of training, which would make you well-trained and eligible for any of the awards that the Georgia School Board Association would have. The exemplary board status. And we will submit that to the State Department. Each year we have to submit a training plan. The next item on the agenda, each year we have the opportunity to nominate a news outlet, a local news outlet for the Beacon Award. And we felt like this year, a few years back, it's probably been 6-7 years ago, the Douglas Enterprise did win the Beacon Award, and they were recognized at the December conference. So we're asking the board to approve nomination of Douglas Now as a local news outlet for nomination for the Beacon Award. Any questions about that? All right. Pleased as the board, we would place that on the consent agenda also. And at this time, I would ask the board that we go to executive session to discuss personnel, student discipline, and real estate.
Need a motion? Mr. Wade,
Second.
Preston, in favor? We'll go to executive session. This time I need a motion to exit executive session.
I move we exit executive session.
Mr. Wade, all in favor? This meeting is adjourned, and in 10 minutes we will start our regular meeting.